why we are looking at a certain portion of the population. So to review, Thailand, like most of the world, is becoming a society with more older people. And traditionally, you know, we have thought of older people as being not part of the production, the labor force, or part of society, productive society. And traditionally, people did not live to over 60. But now, in Thailand, around 8 million people are over 60 years old. That's about 11% of the population. So 11 out of every 100 people you meet will be over 60. 9 of them will live in the country. Only 2 of them will be in Bangkok. This can be defined as a problem, and in other countries, other countries have noticed that in order to support a person who is not an earner, a working person, that the younger or people who do work will have, it says, will have to work harder. They will have to pay more taxes. Okay. And part of that labor force, when people get to an old age, over 80 or 90, they may need someone to assist them in living, and that will take away people from the labor force. Many Thai workers don't have the knowledge and skills that the older workers have. I don't mean the kind of knowledge we get in school, but I'm talking about experiential knowledge and knowledge about the work and political environment that it takes to succeed or to earn money. Number 3 is that we have the public service problems of taking care of older people. There is not an infrastructure set up to accommodate, that is to give people who are not working something to do and provide them with housing or care if they need it. Senior volunteers can play an important role. And when you get old, and I've talked to many old people because I plan to become one myself, they always tell me you must stay active. So they can be a resource, even if they are not wage earners. They can be considered a resource for the country, and they can contribute to the social and economic well-being of the society. There are more than 3,000 older Thai adults who serve in an organization called the Brain Bank. That I will let Ajahn Saratid tell you about the history of the Brain Bank, but it is one formal organization which will promote the skills and the work of people over 60.
I probably present in English and some Thai, and also include some Lao language. It's my original, to make sure that we are more diversity like this morning when we talk about. So we understand we have about 15 minutes. Scope of the study, that is, we focus on the brain bank that is established in 2001 from our Queen. That's altogether about 21 occupations, มีมากกว่า 21 อาชีพนะฮะ over 3,000. But altogether is high in rank. Some is ambassador, some is the governor, some of the doctor, nursing. So that is the purpose of our study, that is to investigate how the elderly Thai who are members of the brain bank become a volunteer. And that research question that we focus on, what are the pathways that lead the elderly to be the volunteer, and to what extent will elderly Thai who are members of the brain bank respond to opportunity to make more significant contribution as the volunteer? You want to say something?
I just wanted to comment that in in the United States, there are also many ways in which people of all ages, but particularly elderly, volunteer. The brain bank is a little bit different because it is an organization of professionals. Usually when we think of volunteers, we think of the greater population with jobs that are set up, simple jobs that they can do, and sometimes they prefer that, actually.
So like in 1983, that McDonald's tried to recruit the elderly because it's the gap between the young age and the elderly. So since 1983, that is a McDonald's KFC recruitment. But today it's become, because Thailand today is 2010. 2015, Thailand will become the aging society. So that's what the challenge. But however, in terms of the elderly, in terms of this, a lot of we believe, and then what we did, even the current government just make the pension just only 500 for the elderly. But some elderly, they don't like it. You know, actually they still have more knowledge and skill and ability. They want to devote their time because they believe they are one of the person who would like to be play back their homeland. That is they call Bun Kun concept. นั่นคือ the culture different between the U.S. and also the Thai people, they have the seniority, and 90% is Buddhism. The Buddhism, when you try to contribute, that means you do the merit, that means cultivate good, and then you feel you happy on that. Okay. So now that is we would like to give you some what we scope, and then the methodology we use, the paradigm choice we use, the constructive wisdom paradigm, and the strategy that is the constructing grounded theory. I will talk with you about why is constructing grounded theory, as we have about second generation now. For data collection, we do the in-depth interview and then the purposive sampling with the 33 informant. And we know that we are novice, and we would like to make sure that we understand clearly in terms of in-depth interview. That's why we use semi-structured interview by generate from the Kathy Sharma and Guelph and also pattern. So this is one of the update one for the สายพันธุ์ของ grounded theory today. You can see the discovery in 1967, that is the first of the generation, that Glaser and Stout. But later on, 1978, that Glaser and Mook and Stout just separate. And finally, that's what we use Kathy Sharma, and what we come up with constructing grounded theory. That's Kathy Sharma is the former student board. So I get the chance to attend in 2009 with Kathy Sharma to make sure that I understand clearly about their methodology. At the same time, another second generation, Hideo Clark, that is from University of California, San Francisco. She the one make the grounded theory, but different. That is they call situation analysis. She believed that even non-human, that means in terms of arena, that means they still get involved when we did the grounded theory. But for us, we use constructing grounded theory and follow the second generation, that is Kathy Sharma. So for data management, we use the technology in terms of the Atlas program, the computer software for the help to management. And we transcribe the interview, and I understand that we interview in Thai and then we translate in English. We need to back translate and double check with the scholar who not only the native but understand about the situation and get familiar with the Thai context. Like Dr. Ron spent here for almost 10 years, and she did a lot of ethnography in the region in Thailand, and she needs to understand about some Thai word. This is the research question one. What are the pathways that lead to the elderly to be the volunteer? You can see at least we have finally we come up with 3 components. Encourage from the Queen, EFQ, and then the elderly happy to contribute by their own, as they are the would like to pay back their homeland, and they are 95%. That is most of the informant is Buddhism. So in terms of the participants, as they are elderly, it's a high rank. All their life that means they have knowledge, skill, and ability. 3 components effort, and then they move on to become the volunteer. particularly for encourage from the Queen. And also they would like to helping the society, and so happy when the contribution in the society. So one of these, some of the wording that we make the quoting. I still remember the day of the Queen gave the speech at Kitlada Palace that she will be the leader of the 60 years citizen who will be work for the public. So as we know, she will be working for us for all her entire life. So this is my decision to be royalty and highest honor. That's what encouraged from the Queen. I will continue working as a volunteer. I confirm in my life, if I have a chance, I will work for the public and society until the last second before I die. So the research question 2, after become the volunteer in the pathway, to what extent to the elderly Thai who are the member respond opportunity to make more significant contribution as the volunteer? We divide into opportunity that is emphasis in benefit and improve organization. So far that is at least for the benefit for volunteer themselves. It's length, they make the merit, they happy, and benefit for the community. One, we got the knowledge, skill and ability, like human capital, like the elderly, to help, that means to develop and support the community. However, to improve, that is some of the barrier coming up because of, in terms of the physical and emotional of the elderly. The elderly is upset so easy. Sometimes in our culture, I mean, we respect the senior one. And good management system, it is a some barrier problem. So I come up with finding in terms of the barrier, we come up with 7 of them. The barrier to performance, the problem with general management, financial, even the role conflict of the volunteer themselves, and the Thai leader style problem. Even we have the leader, but we have our own style because we respect the senior one. And characteristic of the elderly Thai and the role of the brain bank. So this is one of the complaints, in terms of the negative. Oh yes, there are many problems such as budget problem, policy problem, cooperation problem, and communication problem. That is, we can build an organization management and run with the systematic would be the better. One of the participants said it should not be Sapapat the brain. They should have some another ministry because they have another like Sarakang, the district or the province, the chain. So now we would like to talk about what is the implication, what we got from our finding. Finally, we come up additional review literature, and we come up with Baker and Shoemaker and Davenport and Lolowen theory, and we got Davenport. The Davenport, normally they got the formula that ability, knowledge, skill, and talent plus behavior and multiply with effort and time. But for us, if we want to use this kind of theory in Thai context, particularly on the brain bank, that means you need to get another component, that is they call motivation, fit the culture. At least that is great Jai concept, Bun Kun concept, a saving face concept, like that. So finally we come up the tentative model that is called SVVA model, Success Volunteering as Active Aging model. The human capital represent that is all the elderly Thai, and 2 components with the 3 element effort. And another one that is the benefit for individual benefit, social benefit, and management system. 2 efforts, and then move. I mean, we need to prevent in at least barrier in 7 prevent. That's what I just mentioned earlier. So for implication 1, if you have this book, you will see that in terms of human resource, in short, that is, we need to realize that today Thailand is become the elderly society. That means we need to think about how we can manage it, or how can we use our resource in proper way and support our country. And for the brain bank, that means we need to realize that in terms of recognition, that's what I mentioned in research question 2. For the implication 3, for the policy maker, think about the elderly. A lot of people think about in Thailand, when you elderly, you have to, thank you.